Hi, I'm Brandon, and I'm back with Ben Metcalf from 3 Minute Horror Reviews. Be sure to subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. We've been covering a lot of series here. We did Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. We've been doing them on both my channel and Ben's channel. And now we're doing the Alien series. So we decided what better place to start it off with the very first one, which is, funny enough, called Alien. Came out in 1979, and it was, I don't know if the word revolutionary gets thrown around a lot, but this movie still makes an impact. It still gets talked about all the time. Most of the series we've been doing are horror. People consider this horror in space. I technically don't. I consider this a straight up sci-fi movie, but
Hmm.
it's so cool that if horror fans still love it, if you want to talk about it under the horror umbrella, I'm not going to argue about it. But yeah, let's jump into it. What did you think of this?
Well, yeah, I think that any movie that has a scary monster gets automatically classified as horror. And even though
Yeah.
this is a scary monster, um, it is not just one alien like we're talking about. Although this movie is just one alien, but these are aliens. These are whole species. It's definitely one of the most influential atmospheric horror movies of all time, or movies. Let's just say let go space horror, whatever. Alien movie. It's infinitely influential. This series has had so much of an impact on modern horror, modern sci-fi, video games, books, pop culture in general, like everything. It spawned comic books, it spawned sequels, prequels, spin-offs, a television show that I have not watched that I heard kind of shit the bed. But uh, there are escape rooms. There are escape rooms based on this property. It's crazy how much stuff has come from this. A guy named Dan O'Bannon wrote the screenplay. He also wrote Dark Star, Life Force, Invaders from Mars, and The Return of the Living Dead, like the classic Return of the Living Dead movie with Spider and all those guys. He wrote that
Yeah.
too. This guy's probably coasting on, if he's still alive. I don't know if he's still alive. I didn't look that up, but he would have been coasting on that money for probably the rest of his life, I'd say. The alien design, incredible, iconic. H.R. Giger, is that how you pronounce his last name, or is it
I say
Giger?
Geiger, but yeah.
Geiger? Okay. He's a Swiss artist. He came up with the concept art that led to the xenomorph itself, and actually was did design of the actual creature it's on in the movie. Um, it's fantastic. He has that art style. He likes to do like a techno-organic sort of thing. Um, we it's in one of the most iconic characters in horror ever. Definitely one of like we've talked about Freddy's and Jason's and Chucky's and all that stuff. Those are one guy. This is a whole race of things that are all, lumped into being very cool. And we start off with one kind of them. What did you think of this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Of course, it's one
Yeah.
of these movies. I don't think I've ever heard anyone not like this.
Yeah.
Like there might be some 6-year-old out there that finds it boring, but anyone who's into film, into horror, like this is the Gone with the Wind, some respectable movie. This is the one that's like this started off so many. It led to so many other things. I would say ripping it off, but it inspired so many things. And you
Hmm.
did bring up, it is technically a whole lot of aliens, but they all kind of look the same. There's these main ones. There is a queen. There's face huggers. They're all part of the same like
Yeah.
reproductive process. But mainly, when you think of the alien movie, it's this alien from the first movie that you think about, and it makes you wonder why is it so popular? There've been plenty of other alien movies ever since the 50s. Is it the design of the creature that made it, or is it just that the films themselves are so technically well done that people like them, or is it just the whole shock of like, the face hugger goes on your face, lays eggs in your chest, the alien bursts out of your chest and turns into a 6 foot, 7 foot tall creature? Is that what makes it so interesting, or is it a combination of them? Because it
Yeah.
just like this could have just been another one of a million alien movies that went to theaters and maybe had a cult following, but this one is still being remade to this day in sequels and TV shows and stuff. Yeah, why do you think it's so popular?
I think that it's so popular partially because of the body horror aspect of it. There's the fact that the thing impregnates a person with this thing, and they can be, they may not be feeling all that great, but they've got this thing growing inside of them that's eventually going to burst out and turn into this deadly thing. H.R. Geiger's or Giger or whatever, H.R. Geiger's, his design did so much lifting for this property as well. The alien itself, the xenomorph, looks like an abomination of a person. And we learn later on that whatever host it gestates in, it kind of takes on some of their features, becomes kind of like a really perverted version of them, with the long elongated head. It looks so off-putting, and it looks so sinister because it's all dark and the way it moves and how silent it is. The fact that the thing is deadly not just in life but in death as well is also a big thing. Like the fact that they bleed acid, so even when you think that you can take the thing out, it can still kill you. It's really crazy. And that extra mouth does a lot of lifting as well. Like the whole extra mouth thing is so cool. It's just like a icing on the cake, really.
Yeah, I think like the mouth within a mouth.
Yeah,
I would say that it might not even be as famous of a creature if it wasn't for that. But that's
yeah.
the thing everyone knows, and in subsequent movies they kind of focus on that. Yeah,
Mhm.
it kind of looks like a giant insect, and it's not the first time we've seen insectoid type aliens. They're actually quite
Mhm.
popular in science fiction films. But this one, yeah, it's kind of humanoid, but it kind of looks like a beetle or something.
Yeah,
And it's just like it hisses, it's kind of slimy, it sneaks around, like it's just and it's also intelligent. You never quite
yeah,
find out how intelligent. Like sometimes it seems like they're planning things out, but it's kind of like cockroaches. Is like they're not intelligent, but they'll somehow find a way to spread. They'll
hmm
if they're in your house, like I've had cockroaches before, and it's a nightmare. Like it's so hard to get rid of them, and it's like they have to be planning this shit. You can't help but think that. But as we see in Aliens, it's like
yeah,
yeah, they do have some sort of animal intelligence into them, where they'll just survive. And yeah, you you shoot them and you spray acid everywhere. So it, like they're technically not hard to kill. Like you could shoot it with a gun and it'll
yeah,
die. It's not immortal, but it'll either spray on you and burn you, or it'll burn through your ship, or like
yeah,
they're just such a dangerous creature.
yeah, absolutely. And also the fact that I wonder, do they get? See, I've only ever seen the first three so far. We're gonna watch all of them going through this process,
Oh,
but up to this point, I've only ever seen the first three. So that's not a, you know, I haven't gotten too far into the lore of the whole thing. But do they ever get into the fact? Do they have some sort of a hive mind? Are they communicating telepathically within each other, kind of like the Borg or something like that? Or are they talking? I wonder if they ever get into that, because that would be interesting to know. Because, as soon as one of them gets harmed, the rest of them come
I
out.
haven't watched the TV show. Yeah, they kind of hint at that in Aliens. You see, there's a part where Ripley confronts the Queen, and she has like the flamethrower,
Yeah,
and you see the Queen just kind of she looks to the right, looks to the left at her two,
yeah,
and they kind of back off.
yeah.
So it's kind of sensing that she either tells them telepathically or it's just with a look.
hmm
But I think they must like in the I think the same way as cockroaches do. Like they must have some sort of hive mind, but I don't know if it's
yeah,
ever been explored. So let's get down to this movie specifically. It's different. It's not what you'd expect. It's not like a mile a minute pure entertainment movie. This is like a thinking person's movie. It's slow. They take their time. They make sure every shot is beautiful. It's not very fast paced, but it's not slow. It's not boring. But they take their time to show the visuals, to tell the story. I love the characters. I love the fact that they didn't overdo the characters. They're not all these colorful, wisecracking Marvel type people. These seem like actual, just blue collar worker types. These seem like this would be a real place. Like there was no character where I'm like, come on, like that. I don't. This sounds like a movie character. Like they all sounded like real people. And at the beginning, you didn't even really know who was going to be the main character because Dallas, the guy with the beard, he kind of seemed like he was more of the main character. and even for a bit, even Kane, the guy that the chestburster guy, kind of seemed
Yeah.
like he was the focus for a bit. And but then as it kind of they all just start dying, and all of a sudden Dallas dies. Like shit, I thought he was like the main guy, and so now it's like, well, now there's no main character left. Who's gonna like take the reins? And then Ripley just happens to be the one who's the most responsible, the most um, you know willing to step up, the most courageous, I guess. And then partly through that, and partly through just bad luck of the others getting killed, she's forced into the role of like, okay, I have to deal with this thing. And all of a sudden, she becomes the main character. And as we see in other movies, she's one of the most famous main characters ever. But it didn't start with her as the hero right from the beginning. She was just kind of like another one of the people there, and she could have been the one to break down and freak out and get killed. You never know, but it's like she just she stepped up and did what needed to be done.
Yeah. We'll never know what it was like to watch that movie in the theater in 1979 because it came around after us. So we already knew that she was going to be the star of the movie going into
Yeah,
it. But it'd be so interesting to have lived through that and to watch it and be like kind of on the edge of your seat wondering who's gonna step up. Like, is it Yaphet Kotto's character? Is it Harry Dean Stanton? Probably not, but you never know, right? It could have been any of them really. But yeah, I mean, just so many iconic scenes too. The chest bursting scene in the mess hall is they redo that in so many different things, so many
yeah,
different ways. Yeah, just unbelievable.
yeah. Every there's even the scene where the face hugger starts bleeding, and it's like
Yeah,
bleeds through the floor. So they run down, find it bleeds through the next floor, and it's like, oh my god, it's gonna like just keep burning all the way till it burns through the hull of the ship.
yeah.
But then it finally stops. So they're like, what do we do? And I wish I could go back because I think I saw Aliens was the first one I saw. So I already knew how it worked. I knew what the chest burster scene was because it was so famous.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, it would be nice to see this and not go in with every surprise already ruined. Like I
I,
already knew, okay, this guy is it's gonna pop out of his chest any second now. It was still cool when it happened, but yeah, there would have been you wouldn't have known that. And Ash, like watching it
yeah.
now, it's so obvious that Ash is a robot because
Hmm.
they really make it obvious. But it wasn't obvious the first time I saw it. I didn't know that was gonna happen. So they did a good job of laying the breadcrumbs that there's something up with him, but you wouldn't know until you know. And then
Yeah.
it's like, then you watch it again. It's like, oh, how could I not have seen that? Yeah,
I wouldn't have known either at the time. Oh, I saw Aliens first, just like you did. I saw the second one first, and so I knew a lot of that stuff going in. But yeah, I don't think I watched Alien for quite a while afterwards. I think I first saw it on there was a Toronto or television station called City TV, and I think I first saw Alien on late night on City TV one night, and I don't even think I realized that Aliens was a sequel when I was a kid. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. I don't think I did because Aliens, like you got to admit, it's funner, it's more action packed. That's
Yeah,
the one that when you're in grade six, all the boys are like, yeah, aliens.
yeah,
So that's the one. Like whereas Alien, it's like it's a bit slower, like it's a bit more mature.
yeah.
So Aliens is the one you're gonna hear about, and yeah, I don't think I really knew it was a sequel until I was probably a teenager, where I actually was smart enough to realize I'm like, oh shit, there's a prequel, and the third one came out and everything. But this
Yeah,
one, it does a great job at setting up the lore.
yeah,
In the
it
in
sure
the other
did.
ones, like we've gotten used to that. We're at the point, oh, there's like planets of aliens and queen aliens and all this other stuff. And but back in this time, it's like they didn't know any of that. It's
Yeah,
just one alien. They didn't know. I don't think they didn't know that there was queens or anything. It was just here's this one alien, and they dealt with it. And it's in the same way it was similar to part three, whereas like technically the aliens, like you could kill them if you had guns. Like if this ship had weapons,
yeah,
you would have shot the thing and it would have burned a bit of the floor, but that would have been the end of it.
yeah,
But they're not a military ship. They're just like so much of like miners, so like they don't have guns.
yeah,
And same with the prison in part three. It's like shit, we're with this thing, but like we have axes, like we don't have anything to shoot at a
yeah,
long distance with. In the second one, Aliens is a bit different because they have the colonial marines and they're
yeah,
heavily armed, but they're not dealing with one alien; they're dealing with a shitload of aliens. So then it's like it's a different type of story. But here, it's basically like you're locked in a ship, You can't run. You can't get away. There's this thing prowling around the corridors and the vents,
Hmm.
and they don't really understand it. Like at first, they see it; it's like 6 inches tall, so they're walking around with a net, like they're gonna catch this tiny thing. They don't realize this thing grows to 6 feet, like within 24 hours. So,
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh crap, and it can kill a man easily.
Yeah.
So they're like, holy shit, like how do we find? And one of their first things that comes up where can't remember her name, the other female person on the
Oh, I
ship,
can't remember either. Yeah.
where she's like, let's just get in the escape pod, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like they play it like she's crying and she's a coward, she's
Hmm.
breaking down. Where at the end it's like Ripley's like, yeah, that's the best thing to do is get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It's like it's just way too hard to kill this thing.
Yeah, they are silent. They fade into the night. They can go fit into very small spaces. They love exhaust fans and ceilings and ductwork and all that stuff. Um, they have no heat signature. You can't detect them with infrared. You have to detect them. You can only detect them with motion. And so that led to a whole other trope that they've added to these types of movies, like the scenes where they're watching the motion scanner and the thing's getting closer and closer, and I can't see it. Where is it? Where is it? And then it's above you, right? Because
Yeah,
it's always above you or below you, maybe. But the cat was also very cute in this movie. Let's just say, let's put that out there. The cat was cute.
yeah. He's one of the few characters that carries on to the next movie. Or I guess one of the only two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This we can't deny is it's so crazy to think about. This series longevity. It has been going for it like continually going. And I'm not talking about like Halloween and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street that have been going for probably an equally long time, but they've had extra long gaps. This series has continually had things thrown into it, whether it be animated series, whether it be comic books, whether it be movies and TV shows, all of that, and video games too. Alien Isolation is a video game that where you're Ripley's granddaughter or something. I don't know how that happened because I don't recall her ever having children, but all of it, so it's got this crazy longevity, and the first two movies in the series are considered master classes in their genre. So Alien, considered a masterclass in isolationist horror. Aliens, one of the greatest action films ever made, ever put on film. Insane. We'll talk about that one when we get to it, but
Yeah.
holy smokes. Yeah.
And I love how like each of them is different too. Like well, once you watch the later ones,
Hmm.
it's like night and day. But even between part one and two, they have similarities. They're both gritty and dark, but just the pacing of the story, the way it's done, they're quite a bit different.
Yeah.
Like if you watch Aliens, expecting it to be like the first movie, it's different. I had a friend growing up who just didn't like Aliens because he's like it's just like a stupid mindless action movie. He's like the first one and the third one are like slower pace, like
Yeah.
they tell a story. The second one's just like action film. May as well be like Rambo. And I like no, I don't. I mean, whatever. Have your opinion, but I think Aliens is still a great movie. We'll get that in detail.
Yeah.
But it's good for a different reason. This one, like, it's just I just love how it's like it's not boring slow, but it's not just like they're not editing it to keep the story going. They're just like here's a story, and just like they just spend time, even just like the ship landing
Hmm.
on the alien planet. It's just like it looks cool. They take their time just to show it, like searching the alien ship, finding that engineer guy that's like fused. He's like 20 feet tall and fused to
Yeah.
that seat. Like there's just all sorts of weird, cool imagery that they just take their time. And then finding the eggs, that's its
Yeah.
own little bit. Like there's just so many things where it's just like this is a very beautifully shot movie.
Hmm. And the final sequence too, where she's getting in the pod and everything is pretty iconic. And when lots of young teenage boys like to freeze frame on that. So
You can see her butt crack in the
yeah, all that stuff. It's also had a very continually, very prominent anti-capitalist message. So anti-corporations rather, because the aliens, yes, are the bad guy, but the corporation is a bad guy too.
yeah.
They're the overarching bad guy because they're always all about um, pulling getting those aliens back. The people are expendable. What's most important is lining our pockets with the next big weapon, and that's what the alien is.
Which is funny because I mean nowadays that's almost a cliche. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
another movie about the evil corporation. Like, wow, that's nothing that hasn't been done before. I
yeah,
think back at this time it was a little bit more rare, but they also like the Weyland Yutani Corporation. Like the name, it sounds like it's an American Japanese conglomerate kind of thing,
yeah,
but it also sounds like it's the only company. You never hear another
yeah,
company. It's just, and it's also like it seems like it's a business, but it's also like the military. So it just seems like in the future there's only one company that exists, and it's also like the military is the company, or they're somehow tied together. Like it, I don't know. You never figure out. And in future ones, they start to get into more of the Weyland Yutani stuff. I wish they didn't. I like it just being some nameless corporation you don't know enough about. You just want to know. As soon as they get into more detail,
yeah,
uh, it's not as good. But yeah, there is that kind of message there, and clearly the people that work on the ship are the lowly workers, right? They're arguing about their pay. Like, are we going to
yeah,
get screwed over? Like, we're being sent on this side mission. Like, do we get paid overtime for this?
yeah.
Like this isn't fair. And it's like, well, if you don't do it, you don't get paid anything. It's
Hmm.
like, well, fuck. Like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, they're the company. And, like, it's not like you have a choice. And then they
Yeah.
find out it's like, oh yeah, they don't even care if you die or not. Like, it's a there is that message behind the main story.
Yeah, and there seems to be a secret spy in most of them too. In most of these ones, a secret spy for the corpos. In this one,
Yeah.
it's Ash, the android, who is played by Ian Holm, who was also known as fairly well known as Bilbo Baggins from the Lord of the Rings trilogy that Peter Jackson did. Rest in Pete's King.
Yeah.
We say you can cut this part out. We Jeff and I say rest in Pete's King because he fucked that up one time when we were saying when he was saying rest in peace. And so
Oh.
now anytime any one of us says rest in peace, we say rest in Pete's King, and everybody thinks we're an idiot, but really we're just teasing Jeff. So there you go.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
funny enough,
Hmm.
apparently at the very end of this movie where Ripley jumps into the escape pod and leaves the ship,
Yeah.
only to find that the alien was ahead of her. It's already on her escape pod, and now she's in a even smaller space with it,
Yeah.
and she ends up blasting it out of the airlock. However, apparently, the original ending was the alien was going to kill her,
Hmm.
and then the alien was going to get on the phone or whatever communication device they have with Earth, and it was going to speak in Ripley's voice and say,
Hmm.
"Hey, I'm coming home." That was going to be it. That basically the alien could mimic humans, but I guess at some point they realized that was pretty stupid, and they decided not to do that. And thank God, and they changed the ending to her just blasting it into space.
That thing would have been unstoppable if it could mimic human beings too. Holy crap.
So overall, what would you give Alien on a scale of 1 to 10?
I give Alien a 10 out of 10. It's without a doubt it's a 10 out of 10 for me.
I I've always said like I hate giving 10 out of 10s because I like to
Yeah.
leave room just in case I find something better. But
Hmm.
there's some movies that are so good that I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna have to give it a 10 out of 10 because
Yeah.
there's really nothing in it. I mean, there might be little micro things you could nitpick about it if you went through it frame by frame.
Yeah.
But overall, it's just a yeah, it is. It's a complete masterpiece. It's got to be either the best sci-fi movie or top three. Like there's so few movies that top this and have just had that much influence on pop culture, and that now there's like a whole new generations of people still watching it, and it still exists in comic books and video games. Like you said, like
Yeah.
TV shows that I think they're making another movie, and they had one that came out like last year or the year
Hmm.
before, like, and it was like it did very well in the box office. It's like so it's still a popular thing. It's not like it's some obscure thing that faded into the past or only people that were teenagers in the 70s can remember. It's like no, it's still a big thing.
Can you imagine our cultural landscape if Alien had never been made?
Yeah.
There are so many things that are based on it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Even keep your eye ahead on Ben's channel. Pretty soon we're going to be covering Godzilla versus Destroya.
Yep.
And I watched that last night. Even there, they had a big alien with a smaller mouth that came out of it.
Hmm.
And it's like that. It's like it's
It's all
amazing
over the
how
place.
many things that Alien influence.
Hmm.
All right, well that's it for Aliens. So we're going to be back next time to talk about the sequel titled Aliens. So thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.